try to be proven wrong. Can't be stopped, the only thing that I know is just go, 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 go. Time is now, it's about to go down.
3 FM WBNY Buffalo, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982, brought to you by your Buffalo State College student activity. My name is Christian Perez, and I am on with Ring of Honor star Will Ferrara. Will, can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Nothing much, man. Very good to talk with you and promote the show next week, Thursday, in Buffalo, New York. I am very excited, and I know lots of people here at WBNY are excited to see you guys tear the house down versus Coast to Coast. Let's get into the doghouse, baby!
Oh, hell yeah. You know the dogs are going to be in the building.
Oh, yeah, I want you to rip their arm off, honestly.
Oh,
Like,
I
I want you to do that. Like, I've never been happier than when you turned on Cheeseburger. Oh, I was it was about time.
Thank you, man. That makes two of us. It was the joy of my life. Was kicking Cheeseburger right in between his legs. It was great.
No, it was awesome. So, first question we have from you, this was from Twitter that I got private message. Who are your favorite wrestlers growing up as a kid, if you watched professional wrestling as a child, or if you just got into it recently?
Ooh, well, I definitely started as a kid. I'd say, like, sometime elementary school. But, like, I loved them all. You know, there were so many of my favorites. But if I had to pick, like, as a kid, I loved Jeff Hardy. And as, like, a young teenager, I was a big Randy Orton guy, too. So those are two of my favorites just growing up. But, like, you know, I think the perspective changes once you start wrestling. And then you start looking at guys to study instead of just looking at guys to fans, and everything changes. But as a fan growing up, those are my two.
Oh, no, that's awesome. So, so the next question I have, this is I also got from Twitter. This is one I came up with, actually. Is what was it like going from the Ring of Honor, being in the Ring of Honor dojo, to now actually training the next generation of guys?
It's incredible. You know, like, I'm just really grateful for that opportunity to kind of pay it forward, because I owe a lot of my success to the Ring of Honor dojo, to Delirious, the head trainer there. And now, being under his wing for a while alongside Cheeseburger, you know, we've kind of mastered his curriculum, and we get to pay it forward to the new students, you know. So if I get to help someone out just even a little bit, like the dojo helped me out, then I feel like it's a good thing to do, to keep paying forward the knowledge, you know.
No, I totally understand that. So on May 14th, I was watching the May 14th edition of Ring of Honor television, and you took it looked like a very stiff neck breaker from the ring to the floor from Chris Sabian. How did that feel? Like, I've taken a chop from a wrestler before, so I understand like how a chop, but like an actual bump like that, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Well, you know, like, taking stuff in the ring is one thing, and there's nothing really to prepare you from getting your wind knocked out of you. But then taking things on the outside is just a whole nother story. So, you know, that stuff hurts, but, you know, it's part of the game. It's part of pro wrestling. So it's just something that we all got to do.
No, I understand.
All got to deal with.
No, I totally understand. I actually can't say I understand that, but I understand that in a sense of, like, you have to do what you got to do.
That's what a dog does. Dog does what a dog
I got you, buddy. Okay, so what can we expect to see from you guys, the dogs, going into Buffalo today, next week?
Oh, well, Buffalo, see, against Coast to Coast, we're looking at some nice fresh meat that these dogs are going to take a bite out of, you know? They want to prove themselves in the tag division, but us dogs have been around for a little while. Maybe we may be new as a team, but we've been around for a few years, and we're hungrier. We're hungrier than them, and we're ready to prove it. They don't want it with the dogs.
I got it. You're definitely an up-and-coming tag team in the ranks of Ring of Honor. I definitely see some greatness in the future for you guys.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So talking about that, because I know you were in the Future of Honors tournament. So how does tag team wrestling differ from singles matches?
Well, the thing is, I think it depends on the chemistry you have with your partner. You know, if you're in there with someone who knows you well and you know them well, you always know where they are. They know where you're going to be. You're working together, you know, so, like, it changes the game. You're thinking for two people, but at the same time, they got your back. So I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. You know, teaming with Cheeseburger is a different story. I had to end that, but I've had a few partners over the years. But the thing about the big dog, Rhett Titus, is that we've been somewhat of a team on outside of the ring for the past few years, whether we're traveling together, gym together. So we're kind of bringing that natural chemistry, organic chemistry, into the ring now. So, you know, he presses my buttons. He's probably the best person at pushing my buttons and getting me mad. But at the same time, he knows me super well. I know him. So I'm looking forward to, you know, taking this team as far as us dogs can take it.
Oh, yeah, no, I fight with my board producer, Jake, all the time. We're besties,
but
I push him, he pushes me, and by I push him, I mean I annoy him slightly. and he pushes me a lot more than I think. Right, Jake?
Slightly was a keyword.
Slightly.
He don't call you Little Willie all the time, so I'm sure.
No, he doesn't. So being a professional wrestler is a lot. I tell people it's a lot like being a rock star in the sense that you're on the road, literally maybe 300 days out of the year. So how do you spend half your time away from home, and how do you cope with that, and how do you relax when you're off of wrestling?
Well, there's really no downtime as far as relaxing. When we're not on the road, we're at the dojo training and stuff. So it's kind of like I'm always engraved in this, but I love it. I'm just really grateful that wrestling is my job. That's what I get to invest my time in, because that's what I spent a lot of years working jobs on the side just to be able to wrestle. So the fact that now I've kind of blended both worlds, that's cool with me. Like, I try to just keep as busy as possible, try to stay in the best shape, stay healthy, eat healthy, just take care of myself, because I know this won't last forever. So I'm just trying to make the most out of it while it's going on.
No, exactly. I totally get that. So another question I got from Twitter was, who is your closest friend in the industry, someone that you will be like ride or die with?
Oh, well, it'd have to be the big dog. I mean, we made it this far. It's like I said, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been shown that we developed as like a team, and now we're kind of getting to bring that into fruition. So he's my ride or die, the big dog.
I like that. I can't wait to see you guys on Thursday.
He does make me mad though. Like the fury in my eyes is as real as it gets when it comes to the big dog. But he's my ride or die dog, I gotta say.
No, I like that. So do you have any messages for Coast to Coast going into Thursday?
They better hop on that treadmill and not get off until Thursday morning if they want to be ready for the big dog. That's my message to them. They know us very well. They think that we got the bark, but they ain't ready for the bite. That's for sure.
And so I also got a message from Twitter that he said I shouldn't ask this, but he asked me anyway. So why would you lead with that? He said, "What do you feel about cheeseburger?" And I'm like, I know what he's gonna say. He's like,
my blood pressure can't handle talking about cheeseburger
exactly
early in the afternoon.
It's too early for that. It's like maybe at 8 o'clock at night when you've had a couple.
There we go. But
that sounds like a good idea.
I'll say a few words about cheeseburger. Those might be some choice words. But
hey,
Burger, if he wants another piece, everyone's seen what happened, went down on ROH TV. If he wants another piece, just step up to the plate, Cheeseburger. And we ain't scared.
I got you, buddy. So what are your favorite type of matches other than tag matches? So if you weren't involved in a certain match stipulation or like a certain kind of match, what would you say? Because you killed it in the Ring of Honor Rumble, and I thought you were going to win. I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool. Elevate this new guy.
I appreciate it. I dig the scramble matches. One of my favorite kind of matches in Ring of Honor, like the 6-man scrambles, the 4-man scrambles. It's just constant excitement. You always got to be on your toes. You never know what's going to happen, and it's unpredictable from the starting bell to the end bell. I love being involved in those scramble matches.
Yeah, and bank off of that. So what do you prefer wrestling to do? Like really medium-sized promotions like ROH, or doing more like local, like indie shows that are a little bit more intimate?
Well, I think it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. I think there's all these different styles of wrestling, and the great thing about 2017 is that there's so much to choose from the eyes of a wrestling fan. So it depends on what that performer's goals are. My goals have been very Ring of Honor oriented for the past few years, and it remains that way until I accomplish certain things. So I'm always going to say Ring of Honor, but there's so many things to benefit from performing on these indie shows, networking and gaining experience, notoriety. And like you said, the intimacy of that crowd is special. Ring of Honor, I think, is kind of the blend of the intimacy of crowds and then the production of a giant show, because it has kind of both of the atmospheres together. It's like in the middle. But
yeah,
I think it's something for everyone.
Go
ahead.
You can finish.
No. You first, please.
Okay, thank you. So I've watched Ring of Honor TV tapings, but this is my first ever show that I'm going to. So I've only gone to WWE shows. So what can I expect as like a fan versus like these bigger high production shows?
Oh, well, I imagine if you just ripped an electrical cord and the electricity was flowing out of it, that's the excitement you get when you see it live. I remember years back, before I had the opportunity to perform on a Ring of Honor show, I was helping out doing streamers on the side, paying those dues. And I remember just watching the crowd erupt from being in between those barriers. I was like, wow, this is nuts. And then, it only gets better from there. You know, it's only gotten more hectic, more crazy, larger crowds, more rowdier crowds. I don't think there's anything that beats seeing it live, Ring of Honor.
Okay, I'm glad that I'm going. I might actually be able to be there a little bit early to interview some guys, so I definitely hope to catch you before you go out.
Oh, for sure. If you'll be there, I'll be looking forward. I'll be there all day.
No problem, bud. So the next question I have for you is, who do you enjoy working with in ring the most? Like someone that you've worked with in the dojo to like now where like you can have matches and you can just not even think about what you want to do. It just blends so well.
You know, despite my personal feelings for Cheeseburger, I got to say, because we train all the time, you know, that chemistry's there. But one of my favorite opponents is Silas Young. You know,
okay.
I've kind of stepped in with him at a bunch of different stages of my career and did tag matches, scrambles, singles, when I was new and kind of like nervous and when I started gaining my ground, you know. So like, he's been a constant. I always like getting in the ring with him. He always whoops my ass, brings the fight out, but that's what I enjoy. And, you know, I'm always down to do it again with the last real man.
Absolutely. Like you like sometimes you gotta get your ass beat to beat somebody else's ass in the future.
Oh, exactly.
So sometimes you gotta take a licking.
This dog
Oh,
takes lickings, but he
this
keeps
car.
kicking.
I just been looking at the car that's been released. It is stacked for Buffalo, man.
Oh, sure.
Buffalo is absolutely stacked with this card. Like, it's so. How do you deal with that much talent in a locker room at one point in time? Like, so you're an up and coming guy, and you have all these like you have Minoru Suzuki, who's been wrestling since the '80s, and then you have like young guys like Will Ospreay. Like, so how is that generational gap in the locker room?
Personally, for me, it's overwhelming because it raises the bar so high. You know, all these top tier talents from all different generations, from all different parts of the world. So just to like be involved is one thing, but then to try to excel, you're competing with literally the best wrestlers in the world. So like, I think it's great to have us because it brings the best out of us, but you really truly got to bring it because you're up against them. So it's extremely challenging to rise these ranks, but you know, it's only making you better in the process. Like, wrestling to me is a lifestyle. It's not just like it's something part-time. So if I continue to get better, then that's the best thing I could do if my goal is to run up these ranks, you know?
No, I know. I totally get that thing. So yeah, because I kind of compare it to like old school WWF when they had like a stacked locker room, and I'm seeing now like Ring of Honor has just exploded in the last couple of years. Can you elaborate on like how the progression of Ring of Honor has gone from like maybe 10 years ago to now where it's like the forefront of professional wrestling, in my opinion?
Oh, it's insane. Like, to me, I like to just look at the set. I remember even my time when St. Clair first took over Ring of Honor, we had a large shiny curtain and a little truss, and that was the entrance, you know. And now it's like we have the full Titantron set. We have pyro. We have this big production. We've been running arenas. Supercard was our largest attendance in history. You know, like we're gaining ground, and it's a steady movement. You know, I think it's about doing it at a pace where you're not going to gain ground only to take one step forward and two steps back. If you're slowly climbing up and it's working, then you just got to keep that pace. And like you said, we got all these help now. The popularity of the Bullet Club, our relation with New Japan, like I feel like it's still climbing. There's a lot left to climb for Ring of Honor, and it's a really exciting time because we really don't know what's possible because everything keeps getting bigger and bigger. So until it peaks, let's ride it all the way, you know.
No, I understand that. I got two ladies in the studio who are my trainers. They want to give you a very special message.
Okay.
We love you, Will.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He said, "Thank you very much, ladies." I showed them one picture, and they immediately fell in love.
Well, they'll be the first two in history that I've heard about that. They're doing that.
So we're almost out of time. Will, thank you for everything. I really do appreciate it, honestly.
I appreciate you having me.
We're going to swing it to a song, and then I would love to get to record a legal ID with you, if that's cool.
Oh, of course. That's cool.
So, Jake, can we get some music real quick? Thank you. 91.3 WBNY. Keep it locked. And once again, you can check out the Ring of Honor Global War Show 2017 in Buffalo, New York next Thursday, October the 12th. Will, thank you for having me. Thank you for coming one more time. And can you give us one final message?
Hey, this is ROH star Will Ferrara, and you're listening to 91.3 FM, WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative. Knick-knack, paddywhack, grab these dogs a beer.
Thank you very much, Will. I appreciate it. You have yourself a great day.
Thanks, man. You too. Appreciate having me.
And we're getting right back to the music right here on 91.3 FM, WBNY. Keep it locked.